Look at it.
Hey guys, welcome to Moon City, where we give you pure technical analysis on all chartings on stocks. We're going to be going over the ticker symbol AAPL. You know what it is, Apple Tim Cook. So, we did draw pretty much this little wedge that happened recently on the 4 hours. You can see the RSI is around 58-ish, so it is kind of still flat. TTM is a little bullish, right? It's pushing up a little bit, but today is kind of like a small red day. It broke out of this kind of this little area right from the edge, pushed above. Um, yeah, so if you look on the 5 minutes over here, you can also see, wow, it just like tanked a little bit, right? The whole market today was just like boop, took a poop, and then just reversed, right? So I did buy puts this morning, which was at 150 and sold around 147-ish, right at that low, right before it had this reversal on the 5 minute, which was pretty crazy. I was at lunchtime this time, so I could have scalped this back up a couple points. But I'm happy with the profits I made today. You can also check the Patreon link down below, where we do grow $1,000 account to 5,000, and then once we hit that milestone, we're gonna go to a goal of 10K, and then once we hit 10K, we're gonna be fast tracking that right all the way to 100K. So you can follow me on my journey on the Patreon link down below. But back to this topic right here, we're going to be going over Apple on the 4 hours. Let's create some support levels and resistance levels for you guys to really have key levels for you for the future, right? Just if you are an investor, definitely just keep buying the dip, right? I mean, it's a long-term growth stock that I really believe it's gonna just, keep going higher, right? And you guys understand that from a lot of different times, right? Where a lot of people panicked at this point, say, "Oh, we're gonna go down, out, the market is gonna crash," but right back up, right? Right back up. It is always trying to make new highs, right, at the low low. From the low lows, if you bought at the dip as an investor, that was good. If you're a trader, definitely you want to know the short-term outcome. So we're going to be going over that so guys can have key levels to watch for your future decisions that you're going to make as a day trader, right? So looking at the 4 hours, I really like the 4 hours besides the daily, since you guys do want to know in the short term, uh, what levels to watch, right? So we're going to be making key points here. If you get the horizontal tool, we're going to take this high, and if you like TradingView, use my link down below, uh, and get yourself a really good charting tool, best on the market, right? You have your own watch list. My Patreon link down below will have my watch list as well, so you guys can access it, kind of see what I'm watching. The things that are on red are what I'm keeping an eye on like every day. The other things I just kind of see on a daily basis or weekly basis because they're not really important to me. They're not as volatile, so you can't make as fast cash as you want to, right? You kind of have to like wait down a little bit. So back to Apple, we're going to be building out the supports and resistance levels with the horizontal tool. And, let's take this out actually and redo it so you guys can better understand why that's even there. All right, so I think that's kind of like a really good baseline for the resistance and support levels to watch. I'm gonna be putting one again over here at the 126 level. Really doubt it's gonna go below that because we did have a huge rally up with Apple. A lot of good earnings, a lot of good, numbers came out. New iPhones, right, coming to September. Had great sales in the previous quarters, and it's really doing good. So I think Apple is a great growth stock right now. So we built that out, and you can also pause the video and use these levels as reference for long-term traders, short-term traders, etc. So we're going to be using the trend line fib extension, which is my favorite. I'm going to take this low right here. So how you're using this tool, right? We're going to be taking a low that's a really good baseline, respecting that level very well, and then we're going to take the next high from that short-term move. And so I'm going to take this high right here, right in the middle. And you can see that we did build out all these resistance and support levels. So that way you can actually just use those lines instead of trying to find the little tiny, wicks, right? You can just get that baseline right there. And then we're going to take the next low, which is on the 122. All right. So if you look back and go a little forward here, and I'm going to just move this a little more just so we can see the levels across more future time frames, right? So we built that out and we can see our key resistance support levels. I'm going to be putting one more right there at that wick. And so once again, pause the video, look at the numbers, you can write it down just for your reference. Um, and then we're going to take a trend line right here. Let's take that high, that high, that high. Stretch it all across the chart. Take another one. I'm going to take this low right over here by the 140 and take that low, take that low, take that low, right? Stretch it all the way across. And there you have it. You have a little wedge triangle, right? So this means a lot of people want to buy and sell at a really small, tight range so that when a bigger volume of sellers or buyers come in, it's going to break out either side. Looking at the chart over here, in the past, it was doing exactly that, right? TTM was literally flat. It was trying to break out of that, right? So that's when it's starting to turn to red. There's a lot of pressure going one way or another. You don't know, but you saw the volume candles, right? You saw the candles kind of pushing up out of that trend, broke above that 147, and today it broke the 150, right? It hit that 150. Looking at the 5 minutes again, hit that 150 area, and then we sold off a little bit, right? And right now it's reversing, right? A lot of buyers want to get in that price. It bounced right on the red line. Can you see that? Bounced right on the red line. Like I did not just like make that up. Um, so you can see on the 5 minute as well, try to hit that trend line, tried to broke out here, but it did not. Sold off a bit, was flat for a little bit, and then a lot of buyers seem to see some of the TTM trying to push up, right? The RSI was low at that point, then broke out a day later all the way to 148, and then just continued that trend up, and today just sold off a bit, right? A lot of people are wanting to take profits. Um, so let's reset the chart, look it on the 4 hours. Right now, it's very overextended, so you can't really know where it's going to go next, right? It could go higher, and that would be that 150 mark, right? If it pushes above that 150 mark with more volume, we could see higher. But if it does just consolidate again in this range of 144 and 149, then we could just see some consolidations for a couple days, couple weeks. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did kind of sold off a little bit, just because this huge rally up here. Maybe there's people here that have bought in and wanting to take profits at this point. So we really just don't know. You got to watch on the daily. So if you look on the daily, you can see it might be pushing up a little more, but really it has that tough resistance of 150. It could go higher, But once again, it is doing all-time highs for, you know, the whole year. So every time it hit that all-time highs, you just see some kind of cup and handle coming in, cup and handle coming in, and then cup and handle coming in, broke out, doing all-time highs again. So I would just be wary because it is earnings, so this could be that pre-earnings run up, and then after earnings, it did kind of drop down a little bit. People bought the dip, it's going up. And then August, September's, I know is, one of the worst months, right? Because a lot of people want to take profits from the June, July earnings run-ups. So really want to just watch these levels, and you can take these, write it down for your future notes, right? So hopefully that really helped you guys understand a little bit better about making a sound decisions on your Apple trades. Just remember on September, the third week, it will have quad witching, which, the company has to sell all of their contracts by that Friday. So you might see a little bit of a dip or a really huge sell-off that day. So keep in mind that date so everybody knows. I've done it for years. I've done it for every quarter. 100% it's been tanking on quad witching days. But that's up to you to really figure out and test out yourself. You can also paper trade that, right? Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, and comment down below what is happening with your positions. Where do you think the stock price will go in the coming days, weeks? And also join my Patreon link down below where we're doing that series pretty soon, from making $1,000 new account all the way to 5K. All right, guys, you guys have a good one and have a great trading week.